I had a I set this Mercury retrograde is is an interesting one. Um, I kind of hooked up this whole podcast, this one with I thought it was natal Chiron, but it's natal Saturn. So the gentleman that I wanted to talk to about his his natal his natal chart. I wanted to talk about Chiron, but then I found out that podcast 11, I wrote down Saturn, natal Saturn. So getting things confused, that's all right. I could still talk about Saturn. Saturn rules Capricorn. Uh, Capricorn's just is career based, and they work incredibly hard. They're just very hard workers. Saturn is the teacher, is the old man. Um, Saturn. Saturn is called the old man, the teacher. Uh, uh, your first Saturn return is when you're 28, 29, and theoretically you come out of school or college, and you're exhausted. Uh, you're 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 totally out there, um, and you kind of question what you did when you're 28, 29. So it kind of sits in place because it takes 28, 29 years for Saturn to make that Saturn return on your natal chart. The next one is when you're roughly 57, 58, sometimes 59. And that Saturn return is interpreted kind of differently. It has to do with more of feeling. It's like a turning back. It's like when you turn back, you you turn back and you look at your life and you see the things you've created, and what you're gonna leave behind. And at that age, it's typical. Um, and that's what happens at the second Saturn return. It's 57, 58, 59, around that time. It depends, but it's around that time. Saturn also where Saturn is natally in your chart is what you have to work on. It could be periodically in your life, or it could be temporarily. Um, where your natal Saturn is. So if your natal Saturn is in the first house, if it's in the first house, you have to work on yourself. Second is a placement. Is you would probably have to work a lot dealing with money. Third is communication. You would have to work with communication. Fourth, maybe family. Fifth is probably family, but maybe more of creativity. So yeah, so sixth and seventh would six is also health. So if your natal Saturn is in the sixth, then you might have to work with your health a bit. Seventh is relationships. Eighth has to do with the taboo or money. If you have your natal Saturn in ninth, you might have to work with your education a bit. Um, 10th, 11th is career. Maybe you have to work extra hard in your career. And 12th is basically um, your 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 mind. Okay, so here it is. I picked this guy. I wanted this guy to be for the Chiron podcast, but I couldn't. I just, he wouldn't have been good for Chiron, but that's all right. Saturn's okay. There's a reason for everything, right? Okay. So here it is. Mooji. I don't know if you ever heard of this guy. It's an interesting guy. He was like something like the spiritual teacher guide. Um, he has a YouTube channel. He's got a lot of interesting things to say. Apparently, he was there's like a what do you call it? A tracing down of a gift of giving of teachers, and one of his teachers was actually kind of anointed or blessed by Rama Ra, Ramaharashi. So he's like blessed like two steps down from Maharashi. I'm saying the name wrong, but Poji blessed him. I think it's PGO Poji. Can try again. I'll try again. Having a tough time with this Mercury. Let me see what I got here. I don't think I could find his. I'm having a tough. Yeah, I can't find this guy's. Well, that's okay. What I'll do is I'll come back to it. Yeah, he has a lot of good videos. It's an interesting spiritual perspective. I thought it was interesting. So I wanted to do his natal chart. Here's his birth chart. His birth chart is born 29th January 1954 in Jamaica, the country Jamaica. He has if you could see, his sun is conjunct to his Venus. They're both at 9 degrees. The sun is at 9 degrees. His Venus is at 9 degrees. It's right over here in Aquarius. There's no time, so we don't know where or what house it's in. Unfortunately, I would like to know. But anyway, okay. So his Saturn is in Scorpio. His Saturn's in Scorpio. It's right over here at 9 degrees, and it it squares his sun and Venus. Yeah, I really would. I don't know much about the guy. I really think maybe his what do you call it, his life in the beginning of his life was very difficult. Maybe, I don't know, maybe his life is difficult now, but I guess it depends also, it also depends that he has depends on where that Saturn is and what house, and where in what house is his natal sun. We don't know. So I vaguely know certain things of him. Yeah. But I think he has a very creative communication. So that would indicate his natal Neptune in Libra. Libra Libra is the um communication sign, air sign. Okay. And he's also, what do you call it? In communication as an Aquarius as well. So um in retrospect, I just want to add this one because I wanted to put him in the Chiron podcast, but I guess I can't do it. He has his North Node conjunct to Chiron. So his North Node is 23 in Capricorn. His Chiron is 23 in Capricorn. North Node is the reference point um, of the eclipses, and Chiron is the asteroid of healing, of wisdom. Of a lot of people think it's broken healing. It has to do with uh, old wounds. If you have a Chiron return when you're 51 or 52, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be, but both of his North Node and his Chiron are together. So he is a spiritual kind of guru, kind of leader. So he brings out the best. He tries to bring out the best in people. Okay. So his natal Venus is conjunct to his natal sun, and he just, you check out his videos. They're pretty interesting. Um, yeah. So, um, natal Saturn. Going back to natal Saturn, and like I said, natal Saturn would be just wherever natal Saturn is in your chart. That is where you have to work your certain lessons in life. If you find yourself like not being healthy, but yet working on it, just working on it. Or maybe there was a time in your life that you had to work. And that natal Saturn, and you have to work. Oh boy, get the marbles out of your mouth. Um, if you had to work on your health for a long period of time in your life, maybe your natal Saturn is in the sixth house of health. If you have friends or uh, people that your relationships, you have to work on them. Maybe your natal Saturn's in the seventh. Um, Goes on and on and on. Um, yeah, so I hope you guys find this helpful. I'll be back.